Hey everybody, welcome back to the Visible Marketing channel. My name is Phil, and today we're gonna talk about the Google indexing process. There is a super awesome article out from the Search Engine Journal again, where they're describing how Google's indexing process is working and when Google determines quality. So basically, there's an article by Matt G. Southern. He's a really great author over at SEJ, and I can only recommend that you follow him and just like stay up to date with his content. Also, I would like to mention the Google Search Central channel on YouTube. They really explain you anything you need to know about SEO, as well as a lot of insights. Basically, it's Google's channel where they talk about SEO. So who else could you learn the best than from the search engine itself? So yeah, give it a try. I'm just gonna go on like in the last video. I'm just gonna like read it through and narrate it a little bit and add my comments. So please stay with me. It's a really cool article and it's definitely worth listening or reading it. In a recent video, Google's Gary helped me with the pronunciation. Ilis, a search team engineer, shared details about how the search engine assesses web page quality during indexing. This information is timely as Google has steadily raised the bar for quality content. As all of you may or may not know, there was a current helpful content update in March. I think there were two, or even in February there was one. And Google is really checking for all that AI generated nonsense that's currently being created. And yeah, well, this article actually connects to this one a little bit, to this topic, because it's probably the question you are wanting to be answered. What actually is quality, and when will Google take your content out of the traffic? Or what can you do to oppose being taken away and like banned or penalized, and just have a quality content strategy? Well, article continues. Quality, a key factor in indexing and crawling frequency. Ilis described the indexing stage, which involves analyzing a page's textual content, tags, attributes, images, and videos. So you already know that the search engine is definitely checking text, it's checking the tags, we know it's checking the attributes, the images, as well as the videos, which is great to know in general, because you know there's a lot of SEOs do a lot of work around all these 5 things, because you know, images, for example, every time I audit a website, people don't have all texts, or they don't even name the file properly. So it definitely shows us it's worth doing the effort, right? Piece continues. During this stage, Google also calculates various signals that help determine the page's quality and consequently its ranking in search results. Ilis explains the final step in indexing is deciding whether to include the page in Google's index. The process called index selection largely depends on the page's quality, as we just said, the quality of all the content that you have on the page, as well as the technical aspect and the previously collected signals. You may wonder what's the signals. Let me quickly fix if I can. Oh yeah, I made actually a note here. Oh, you see. The signals basically are user engagement, the amount of backlinks, as well as the quality of backlinks, the technical factors, how fast is it loading your page, are the core web vitals in place, and so on. This detail is especially relevant for publishers and SEO professionals struggling to get content indexed. You could be doing everything right from a technical standpoint, and now it's interesting. However, your pages won't get indexed if they don't meet a certain quality threshold. Further, Google has previously confirmed that high-quality content is crawled more frequently, which is crucial for staying competitive in search results. So this alone actually tells us already that creating high-quality content is worth the effort. You don't just get rewarded by visitors and better traffic and high quality traffic. You also get rewarded by putting in the effort in creating high quality content by the search engine itself. One of Google's goals for the year is to conserve crawling resources by prioritizing pages that deserve to be crawled, emphasizing the urgency of meeting Google's quality standard. Again, Google is boss and Google says what it thinks is good. Article continues, signals and duplicate content handling. Ilse touched on how Google analyzes signals. Now it gets interesting. Some signals like the rel canonical annotation, for everybody that doesn't know what's a canonical annotation, the rel canonical annotation is an HTML attribute that webmasters or SEOs or anybody who's working on the website can use to indicate to search engines which version of a web page should be considered the canonical or preferred version. So canonical means basically if you have duplicate content, if you have two pages of pretty much the same kind, they will start competing against each other. With that canonical attribute, you actually tell Google, hey, okay, forget number 2, take number 1, for example. Piece continues. Google also employs duplicate clustering where similar pages are grouped, and a single canonical version is selected to represent the content in search results. The canonical version is determined by comparing the quality signals collected about each duplicate page. There's a very cool article. I will put it in the link. Google really explains very, very nicely how it chooses canonical web pages in case you are further interested in that. Piece continues. Additional indexing insights. Along with the insight into quality assessment, Ilse shared these notable details. Number 1, HTML parsing and semantic issues. Ilse discussed how Google parses the HTML of a website and fixes any semantic issues encountered. If unsupported tags are used within the head element, it can cause indexing problems. So keep that in mind. Whoops, there goes the arrow. Should be an arrow. Kind of looks like one. Don't judge me on my drawing skills. I'm here on my trackpad, so basically doing everything with the finger. Number 2, main content identification. Ilse mentioned that Google focuses on the main content or centerpiece of a page when analyzing it. This suggests that optimizing the primary content of a website, of a web page, is more important than incremental technical changes. So before you start just working on your technical aspects of the page, or basically get your content in order, tidy it up before you actually check if your website is performing well. I'm not saying it's not important, but definitely make sure that the content is in place. Number 3, index storage. Ilse revealed that Google's search database is spread across thousands of computers. This is interesting context regarding the scale of Google's infrastructure. Well, I cannot really talk much about that. I just know that Google is super, super complex. But yeah, I mean, if you think of it, this whole database spread on thousands of computers is just crazy. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope I could give you a little bit of an insight on how indexing works. Super important for us SEOs. If you're not a professional SEO, doesn't matter. If you have a website, that definitely should concern you and should interest you. If not, you learned a nice piece of knowledge that you can go brag about in the next bar with your friends. And yeah, this brings me to the end. If you like this article or this format, please hit me with a follow, and I will see you in the next video.